Hello and welcome to the mini series of conversations on Sustainable Industry Academia Partnerships for Skill Education in India. And in this episode, we are going to introduce you to the CEOs of 3 sector skill councils, and we are going to engage in a very vibrant and very interesting conversation which touches upon important topics which become the core of how to establish a sustainable and impactful and mutually beneficial relationship or engagement or interaction between the industry and the academia. More so in the context of NEP 2020, which talks about mainstreaming vocational education and lays a lot of emphasis on integrating general academic learning with skill development or skills for enhancing employability of youth in India. It becomes even more pertinent that we look into the industry academia collaboration in much more serious manner and explore ways how we can bring them together and establish something that is really sustainable and rewarding for all of us. In this episode, we are going to focus on the steps taken by these sector skill councils to help implement the key provisions of NEP 2020, which fall under their purview to engage the academia, to engage the training partners and other institutions and help them in adopting industry-oriented curriculum with QP-NOS, with National Skills Qualification Framework and the Credit Framework. So let's get started by asking Dr. Abhilasha Gaur from the Electronics Sector Skill Council, Mr. Arindam Lahiri from the Automotive Sector Skill Council, and Mr. Ravikanth Yamarthy from the Logistics Sector Skill Council about their views on how things are shaping up post NEP 2020 and how these sector skill councils are taking a lead in helping their partners implement the most critical policy provisions or recommendations. Yeah. Hi everyone, greetings from National Skills Network. The topic we have chosen for today's discussion is Sustainable Industry Academia Partnerships for Skill Education in India. The keyword here is sustainability. So with this, I would like to get started and welcome all the CEOs who are present today. We have with us Mr. Arindam Lahiri from Automotive Skill Development Council. Then we have Dr. Abhilasha from Electronics Sector Skill Council of India. Then we have Mr. Ravikanth, who is from the Logistics Skill Council of India. So thank you so much, all of you, for accepting our invite. So let's get started. My first point to discuss today would be to learn more about each sector skill council and the initiatives you have taken towards helping these educational institutions, training organizations in implementing the curriculum, which is more industry integrated, which is the need of the hour. So let's say, for example, NSQF levels or the credit framework. So can we get started with Mr. Arindam Lahiri? Sir, please tell us how is it going in the Automotive Sector Skill Council?
Thank you, Madhuri, and thank you for organizing this. I think it's surely a very important element that is kind of new for all of us, even at the Sector Skill Council level or at the academic institution level. And while we are trying to do this, navigate this new initiative of integrating education and skills under the National Education Policy 2020, there are new frameworks which are being launched, there are new SOPs which are being launched, and we all are trying to figure out how does it work together.
Right.
As far as the Automotive Sector Skill Council is concerned, we, as you would know, that we are promoted by the 3 main bodies in the automotive industry: the Vehicle Manufacturers Association, which is SIAM, the Component Manufacturers Association, which is ACMA, and the Dealers Association, which is FADA. So we cover the entire value chain in the automobile industry, right from engineering, R&D to manufacturing to sales, service, as also driving, because that's also important. Of course, we share area, that space, along with the Logistics Council, who also have a significant amount of interest in driving. And we also have a significant amount of interest in electronics, because today the vehicle has become what is called a software-defined vehicle, or SDV. And in order for the software to work, obviously all controls have to be electronics rather than only mechanical and electrical. So we, in a sense, are also a very significant and a large application industry, and also an amalgamation of various disciplines of education, So if you talk about engineering branches, I think we touch upon every branch of engineering, whether it is IT or computer science, to electronics, to electrical, to mechanical, to metallurgy, to chemical, and everything else. And non-engineering as well, because we talk about, ergonomics, because when you are sitting in a car, how much should be the distance between you and your steering wheel, what length should be in terms of your brake pedals, which are all design issues, and which are non-technical, so to say, because you have to integrate it with human requirements, maybe areas like anthropology. There are issues around psychology. When you are driving, your psychology becomes very important, in terms of. So I think there is an integration and an amalgamation of various branches of education into one industry. So when we work with the colleges, predominantly today we work largely with the engineering colleges, I would say. Of course, the natural inclination is to work with the mechanical engineering or the automobile engineering or production engineering departments. But we do see a significant amount of engagement across the various branches of engineering. And today, in fact, in NEP, the focus is on multidisciplinary education. And when you talk about a multidisciplinary education, then obviously automobile is a very important and a very fascinating area of engagement, because you can really be a multidisciplinary person knowing various things. In fact, today our biggest challenge in the industry is that we lack people who are multidisciplinary. We have today a huge requirement of automotive software developers and engineers. Now, there is a huge bunch of software developers or engineers out there, but they don't understand automobile. And then there are a huge bunch of engineers in mechanical who probably understands automobile to an extent, but are not very good in software engineering or software development. Now, how do you marry the two and actually get the required set of manpower? So when I talk to engineering colleges, talk to the deans, many a times I find that many of them actually do not have this idea that software can be associated with automobile. Their understanding is software is only related to computers or mobile phones. I mean, that's it. Or maybe some amount of consumer electronics or whatever, But the biggest consumer electronics today is automobile, and the most difficult part, because it's not stationary, it is moving, and it is out there in the sun, rain. Delhi recently had a huge waterlogging issue. The piece of equipment which gets stuck first on the road is the automobile, and if you are stuck with that, everyone else is stuck. And so you have huge problems that you need to solve as a skilled workforce. So we are trying to do a lot of integration. We are trying to offer courses, etc. But I'll come to some of that maybe.
Sure. I think it's good that I started with you, because the way you have put it up, we have logistics also here. So let's imagine a scenario where something has to be delivered, and then the vehicle has an issue, okay, and then we have electronics also here, Dr. Abhilasha. So you see, there is this cross-sectoral thing happening right in between. So if you imagine how, like, visualize, anything today, I think already once in our conversation, Dr. Abhilasha, we had discussed about how electronics is there in everything that we do today, right? And logistics is also very important. So I think that way the story is kind of, it has an inherent, logic that all three of you are together today. So can you please tell us from the electronics point of view, like from your sector skill council, how is it that you have taken these NEP initiatives forward, especially keeping the higher education maybe in view?
Definitely. See, you used a word that how can we have a sustainable industry academia relationship?
Right.
So when we talk about sustainability, so it is the ability to maintain or support a process over time. And definitely when sector skill councils came into existence, it was not, that was the reason only for the existence of the skilling ecosystem, that we wanted to help or support the process of education and how it can be aligned with the industry's requirement also. So I think that was the main basis how the sector skill council started. And now including a word sustainability is definitely, it has been taken into in a literal sense with all the sector skill councils, because earlier the major focus was more on the skills for the people who are, let's say, 8th, 10th or 12th pass, and nowadays the focus has shifted just because of this sustainability feature for the, even for the you can say the diploma, who are people who are pursuing diploma in engineering or BTech, BE, even MTech and PhD. So same at electronic sector skill council also, like Arindam also said. So what we have done is we have divided our sector. We call it electronic system design and manufacturing, which covers the 360-degree aspect of the electronic sector. And for the ease of functioning, we have divided into 9 subsectors, and we treat these 9 subsectors with a different focus and different perspective, with different job roles as well as the subject matter experts. And we do understand that how it can be aligned with various, you can say, the verticals of new education policy also. So what we have done is that let it be consumer electronics, or nowadays, if we talk about semiconductors and components, which is one of the buzz these days, or the electric vehicles also. So what we have started doing with various ITIs, diploma, as well as with engineering colleges is that advocacy has been started for various short-term skilling programs. So we tell them that what you are doing at your college or university is the foundation course. It can be a 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, or a 3 year or 4 year program also. And it is like a vanilla degree or a foundation program. And the program, what electronics SSC is giving you or any other SSC is giving you, is more like icing on that particular cake. And with icing, you understand that the value of a cake, if we talk, then it can be increased many folds. So we are telling them, you get your foundation degree. For example, you're doing a BTech in electronics or a diploma in electronics. And if you include few things about mechatronics, or if you include something about IoT or embedded systems, then what will happen is your employability quotient will increase.
Right.
And same way, as per NEP also, there are a lot of value-added programs what a university or a college has to offer to these candidates, not only their regular degree program, what they have. So we have made some of the qualifications which are, we can say, the ranges from 300 to 600 level, and then some of the industry customized programs which ranges from 60 to 90 hours also. Because this is one of the challenge we faced, that the short-term training programs what we have, the duration of the programs was not in alignment with the university programs. Because in one of the semester, if they will be using any of our program and they'll be using it for 6 months in a semester system, so they'll not be able to complete one program there. So we have changed our working style, we have changed our courses alignment as per the NEP, and now we give them 30 hours, 60 hours, 90 hours, and a progression can happen from semester 1 to semester 6 or semester 8 in that case. And then a lot of customization has been done for academia in that case, let it be schools ITIs or universities also, that if they want to offer these programs as value-added program, or if they can get approval from their academic council or board of studies and they want to give them one of the optional program, one of the electives in the specialization also, then what all kind of support in case of the curriculum alignment or training of their trainers, all that hand-holding is being given to those colleges, and as well as for the placement support, as well as industry lectures from the professional experts. That is how we are aligning our offerings for various colleges and universities these days.
Okay, that's really nice to hear about the details you shared about how it's being aligned from school to ITI to the higher education level. Let us now also get to know from Mr. Ravikanth about the logistics sector skill council. So, sir, how is it in the logistics sector, logistics and supply chain management? Is that what we call it today? Or is there any other name that we are using?
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Madhuri, for giving us this opportunity. So, first thing that I always talk whenever we have to talk about NEP is we started this in 2019 in the name of Apprenticeship Embedded Degree Program, and NEP was launched in 2020.
Okay.
And I'm glad that UGC has given the accreditation to us that the program structure has been borrowed from us for the NEP. It is also there on the website of UGC. So that way, I think we pioneered this entire NEP program. So we do it in two ways. One, either embed this in the existing program through the apprenticeship, or offer this as an additional course as per the NEP structure of 40% credits being offered through vocational education. 60% is allowed for academic education, 40% can be for vocational education. So basis that structure, we have also started right now in terms of the additional courses that we started giving it to the colleges for them to choose. So it is a plain course and facilitated by guest lectures and instructor-led training and through online trainings for a stipulated number of hours. Or it is an apprenticeship embedded program with 2 years in the academic education, the final year being facilitated as an apprenticeship under the National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme. So these are the two programs that we actually offer to the colleges, and we have about 120 institutions who are offering this with about 2,900 students who have undergone these courses right now. And we have either given the entire course on from a very sectoral specific, which is BBA in logistics, or we have also given some of the courses which are very specialized in terms of the subsectors. Like we have a BMS, which is Bachelor of Management Studies in Warehousing, or we have a BMS in Maritime Logistics. So these are very niche programs where somebody would want to get specialized from a subsectorial perspective. So these are the two programs that we are given. Now coming to the sustainability part of it, now the questions are, what is it before and what is it after? So if I'm only talking about BBA logistics side, which we started off with, but what is a precursor for that? So we need to start that from a school level, where now that the under the CBSE, the vocational education is being mandated right now. So we need to give some sensitization programs in terms of getting the students aligned so that they actually choose logistics when they actually finish their 12th standard. So that way the college, then the course becomes very sustainable. That because there are takers by choice, and not getting to know of what's new in the market and trying to experiment. So this is what we facilitated, and we also had a question of what next, what after that. Then we had to come up with a PG program, which is again apprenticeship embedded, which is we have a MS program in data analytics and supply chain. So we have that, because unless and until we create the before and after, then there is no point in offering this course only, because we always had this question of what I will do after finishing this and what is my next specialization in logistics. And to make it more aspirational, I tied up with 8 international universities in logistics courses, where it is a natural progression of somebody wanting to pursue education abroad. So it was all like, we plug in the gaps of where the demand is coming from, right? And the next thing that we did is, why don't we look at ITIs and we look at diploma programs and all that? So we said we launched a course in ITI. We got it approved through the AICT. The course is approved properly through AICT. We have a diploma program in logistics technology because most of the warehouses are getting automated. So they need to understand the logistics requirement. So we got it approved through AICT and we launched that into institutions in India. So we have fulfilled everything. Now the only thing which left over was most of the logisticians today. I mean, people working in Swiggy, Zomatos, and all of them, even for the last mile deliveries, they don't have the 10th standard qualification or 12th standard qualification. And to facilitate that, we have launched a NEOS program in a National Institute of Open Schooling, where they can actually pursue weekend courses in logistics domain. So that's the best part of it. And now I'm talking to IGNOU to also give an online degree program. So on the whole, what we are trying to do is we are trying to have a full plate with all the offerings from all directions, so that it is naturally having a progression after I complete various qualifications at that respective levels. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's good to hear that so many changes are happening in the logistics sector, and I'm glad that we have organized this discussion today. Although we have already featured a conversation with you, but that was quite some time ago. What our audience can learn from this discussion is that already many initiatives have been taken. So in case they want to learn more, they can always connect with the Sector Skill Council, like apprenticeship embedded degree program, or all the new courses that are coming up in electronics or automotive sector. So with this, I think what we get to learn is that you have already moved, like you said, Dr. Abhilasha, already it was a sustainable concept. The idea itself was to sustain this collaboration when the SSCs were, when they were set up. So now taking that to the next level is with the NEP. Why we are thinking of NEP as being a very sustainable, adding a sustainable dimension to skilling is because two reasons. One is, personally also my understanding is that most of the time when we talk about skill development, it is still, in that realm of dropouts and, people who are like secondary choice, or, we are still not making it that aspirational. It is tough. I mean, it may take decades or years or whatever, but I feel that approach is quite reactive. And we need to get out of that reactive thing as soon as possible by complementing it with proactiveness. So what I think all of you are doing is that proactive things. When I say proactive, I'm saying, yeah, we should avoid that dropout thing, right? We should reduce the number of dropouts, or we should give the right kind of education or skilling to the right person. Like you just mentioned, Mr. Ravikanth, we heard that whoever is interested, let's say after school, and is interested in logistics should get into logistics. So when such a thing happens in our country with a proactive approach, there won't be many dropouts also, because they would have already taken that route, right? Instead of going through the grind of some entrance exam or some engineering exam and then dropping out or not doing well. So this proactive versus reactive is what we are currently studying from NSN, how NEP is playing an important role there. I hope you found this episode as engaging and interesting as we did while we were having this conversation. And I'm sure you also noted that these three industries are interdependent, and we will see in future episodes how many industries today have this cross-sectoral kind of a relationship, and they need to depend on each other. So even when it comes to training, even when it comes to creating the curriculum and other things, you will see that there will be an overlap and there will be a lot of give and take between all of them. And moreover, as we discussed the important points, you would have also observed the kind of role these sector skill councils are playing in helping the academia come closer to the industry requirements. So in case you have any queries or you want to get help from them, do write in to us. We can help you contact them, or you can contact them directly as well. So I wish to thank you for watching this episode and look forward to the next one. And in case you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can do it right away and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any update from us. So thanks once again, and I look forward to having you in the next episode.